when I came into this country about 13 years ago, after making my thorough investigation and understanding the environment, I went to the temple or ashram board members and I said, I need 5 things. I had 5 C's. First, I need a computer. Second, I need a cable connection. In those days there was that internet also through the cable. And then I need a cell phone. No. One at a time. Computer, cable, cell phone, and then car. And then a credit card to pay for all this. And I very soon realized that if you do not have a car in this country, you are bekar. Hindi bekar, not Gujarati bekar. Any Gujaratis here? In Gujarati, bekar means 2 cars. Be means 2. So Hindi bekar, you become useless. So these 3 workers were working on a high-rise, and every day afternoon, there was a Russian, American, and Indian working, and the Russian would look at the boiled potatoes and say, "Oh, again boiled potatoes! I should tell my wife. She doesn't pay attention to what I ask." And he screams and yells and makes a big scene out of it. The American, he looks at the burger and says, "Again a burger!" And the Indian looks at his, roti, dal, chawal, and says, "Again roti!" And if my wife repeats the same thing, I'm going to commit suicide. Enough of this kind of life. So the next day they come at lunchtime, they open their boxes, they find the potato, they find the burger, they find the roti. Frustrated with the kind of life, they jump and commit suicide. Swamiji, bad jokes. Wait, don't judge me for when I'm still narrating. I can see the reaction on your eyes. Very uncomfortable jokes, Swamiji. It is not a joke actually. Hold your horses. Man, very judgmental crowd. So the wives are informed. Wives, they come running and say, "Oh, I wish I could have heard what he was saying. I didn't think it was so serious. All that I had to do was change his meal. I feel so sorry," said the Russian's wife. So said the American's wife. The Indian wife, she was flabbergasted and she was shocked, shell-shocked. She could not speak a word, she couldn't have a tear in her eyes. So what happened? Asked the other 2 ladies. She said, if he didn't like the food, I didn't know why he had to commit suicide, because that idiot cooked it himself every single day. There were this group of monkeys that were given a task to take care of a garden, and the owner had to leave, left just the instruction that keep watering them. So the monkeys, there was a good troop of monkeys, and they had a committee meeting. They had executive committee, they had board members, and they had everybody sitting there. And they say, the task is given, but the main question is, how much water to which plant? So they had deliberations for a few hours and then finally decided. The most loudest monkey was the one who increased not the logic but the volume to get through to everyone, and forcefully decided that we can only decide how much water to give if we know how long their roots are. So they set up a subcommittee to decide and find how much each tree's roots length are. And that subcommittee created a working committee which would go execute and pull out each plant and measure. By the time this fellow came back, the garden was non-existent. Yeah, garden tha. There was a garden here. It happened once. I was in India, and I had planted about 14 different kinds of jasmine plants. I had acquired them from all over my travel. Wherever I had gone in US, they had this unique jasmine plant. I gathered it and cultivated it, and then because of the winters, I had to be careful, so I dug about 3 feet deep each and made sure that the roots were well protected and left for India. I have this gardener who takes care of the lawn mowing and other things. And these are cordoned off, nicely brick cordoned off, and there are 14 of them. I went for 3 months. By the time I came back, the first day he knocks on my door, very proud. There was this very strong, dirty weed in your backyard. And they were so deep rooted, I had to dig 3 feet. Are you talking about my favorite collection? Now, the anxiety towards it. Again, you need to be experienced to get out of that anxiety. You go through one set of experience, and by the time you are to the second experience, with the depth of your understanding of first experience, when you come to the second one, your anxiety is reduced. That's why I call it the first child is always an experiment. In a good way. So when a pacifier falls, first child, what do? Take it, boiling water, drop it for 30 seconds, pick it up, rinse it again in cold water, and then plug it back in. First child. Little bit of cough and the sleeplessness of the child, directly to ER. And the doctor looks at you and says, first child? Your child is actually fine, take home. Or we will bill you though. Thank you for coming by. By the time you become experienced and you know what things that you need not be anxious about because of the depth of your earlier experience. So by the time it is second child and pacifier falls, what do you do? Dust it off and plug it back in. What's that?
10 seconds.
Yeah, that is when you start developing 5-second rule, 10-second rule. I have heard all the way to 35 seconds. By the time it is the third kid, you ask that fellow to pick it up, put it back in your mouth. Right? You're no more anxious. Happens, fine, put it back in. Don't you have hands? Pick it up. Yeah, pick it up. Put it back in. Done. So by the time you mature through experiences, the depth of earlier experiences will definitely reduce that anxiety too. And everybody behind you is like, you can get that vibrations, that radiating pressure from behind. Things that you are probably a not good driver who is like, and that pressure is building up. Similarly, the evening, you have to take the traffic at that time. Either take an earlier time or a later time. If you don't have the choice and you have to go through the traffic, go prepared. Or go in preparation in such a way that you can avoid it altogether. If you cannot avoid it and you have to take it, come with that preparation. And if it is a recurring one, does it benefit anyone to carry that negativity or frustration? And that's in the morning. You start with that frustration, you come down. And contaminate the surroundings with your frustration. So you take out your frustration on your subordinates or your peers, and they go home, and the weakest link in their relation where they can push this pressure out, they push it on the spouse, and the spouse pushes it on the kids. The kid pushes it on the dog. And the guest comes in, the dog takes it on the guest.